Our journey into the past begins long before Italy was a single country. Imagine the great Roman Empire. Its vast roads connected cities and peoples. To trade and to pay soldiers, the Romans used a powerful coin, the denarius. This small silver coin was famous across the known world. It was more than just money. It was a symbol of Rome's power and influence. You could find the face of the emperor stamped on it, a message carried in every merchant's pouch and every soldier's pocket. For centuries, the denarius was the heartbeat of the Mediterranean economy, a testament to an empire that shaped the future of Europe in countless ways. After the fall of Rome, Italy broke into many smaller states and kingdoms. Each city, each duchy, wanted to show its independence and power. And what better way to do this than by creating your own money? In the great city of Florence, the center of the Renaissance, a new and beautiful gold coin was born, the florin. This coin was a work of art, showing the city's lily emblem and its patron saint, John the Baptist. It became a trusted currency for international trade, a symbol of Florentine wealth and artistic genius. Merchants from all over Europe desired the florin for its pure gold and its reliability. Not far away, another powerful city was rising from the sea, Venice. The Venetian Republic, a master of trade and naval power, created its own legendary gold coin, the ducat. The ducat showed the Doge, the leader of Venice, kneeling before St. Mark. Like the florin, the ducat was famous for its quality and was accepted in markets from London to Constantinople. For hundreds of years, these coins, along with many others like the Genoese Genovino or the Papal Scudo, told a story of a divided land. Each coin was a tiny piece of a puzzle, a symbol of a local identity in a peninsula that was not yet one nation. This variety of currencies was a sign of Italy's rich and complex history. But it was also a problem. Imagine traveling from Milan to Naples. You would have to change your money in every state you passed through. This made trade complicated and expensive. It was a constant reminder that, despite a shared language and culture, the people of the Italian peninsula were not yet unified. A merchant's journey was not just a trip across mountains and plains, but a journey through a confusing maze of different weights, values, and metals. The dream of a single Italy would need a single currency to help bind it together. In the middle of the 19th century, a powerful idea swept across the Italian peninsula. This was the Risorgimento, the resurgence. It was a movement to unite the many separate states of Italy into one single nation. Leaders like Giuseppe Garibaldi, Camillo Cavour, and King Victor Emmanuel II worked to make this dream a reality. It was a time of great passion, of battles, and of political maneuvering. Finally, in 1861, the Kingdom of Italy was proclaimed. A new country was born. But a country needs more than just a king and a flag. It needs symbols that all its people can share and recognize. One of the most important tasks for the new government was to create a single unified economy. Before unification, there were at least 7 major currencies circulating in Italy. There was the Piedmontese Lira, the Lombardy Venetian florin, the Ducat of the Two Sicilies, and others. This system was a relic of the old, divided Italy. It was inefficient and confusing for trade and daily life. To build a modern nation, Italy needed to clear away this financial clutter. A single currency would make it easier for people to buy and sell goods from one end of the country to the other, fostering a sense of shared economic destiny. The solution was to create a new national currency. The name chosen was Lira. This name was not new. It came from the Latin word libra, which means pound, a unit of weight. The name had been used for centuries in different parts of Italy, including a lira introduced by Napoleon. By choosing this name, the new kingdom was connecting to a long Italian history. The lira was to be the monetary symbol of this new unity. It was a promise that a person from Sicily and a person from Piedmont were now part of the same economic family, using the same money to build their futures together. So, the Italian lira was officially born alongside the new kingdom. It was established with the goal of replacing all the old currencies and becoming the sole legal tender. The process was not instant. It took time to mint the new coins and banknotes and to collect all the old ones. The government had to set exchange rates to convert the old money into the new lira. It was a huge logistical challenge, but it was essential. The lira was more than just a tool for the economy. It was a powerful statement. It declared to the world and to Italians themselves that Italy was finally one united nation from the Alps to the Mediterranean islands. The first coins of the new Italian lira were designed to send a clear message of unity and royal authority. The most important feature on these coins was the portrait of the new king, Victor Emmanuel II. His profile, with its distinctive large mustache, was stamped on every coin from the small copper cents to the large gold lira. This was a very deliberate choice. By putting the king's face on the money that every citizen would use, the government was reinforcing his role as the symbol of the new unified Italy. His image traveled to every village and city, a constant reminder that the old rulers were gone and a new era had begun. These early lira coins were made from different metals, following a system common in Europe at the time. The smallest denominations, the centesimi, were made of copper. The larger value coins, like the 1, 2, and 5 lira pieces, were minted in silver. Then there were the gold coins, such as the 10 and 20 lira pieces. These were valuable and used for large transactions or as a way to store wealth. The designs on the reverse side of the coins were also very symbolic. They often featured the coat of arms of the House of Savoy, the royal family of the new kingdom. This emblem, a white cross on a red shield, was another powerful symbol of the new state. One of the most iconic of these early coins was the large silver 5 lira coin, often called a scudo. It was a heavy, impressive piece of silver with a beautifully detailed portrait of the king. On the other side, the Savoy coat of arms was surrounded by a laurel wreath, a classic symbol of victory and honor. This coin was not just for spending, it was a piece of national pride. Holding it felt substantial, a tangible piece of the new Italy. People could see and feel the stability and seriousness of their new nation in the weight of this silver coin. It represented the hopes and ambitions of a country that had fought hard for its independence. As the years passed, new monarchs came to the throne, and the coins changed with them. After Victor Emmanuel II came King Umberto I, and his portrait replaced his father's on the lira. Then came Victor Emmanuel III. Each new series of coins continued the tradition of featuring the reigning monarch. The designs evolved, sometimes showing different versions of the royal coat of arms or other national symbols, but the core message remained the same. The lira was the currency of the Kingdom of Italy, a symbol of its monarchy, and a tool that was helping to weave the economic and social fabric of a once divided people into a single, cohesive nation. The early 20th century brought immense challenges to Italy and its currency. The first great test was World War I. The war was incredibly expensive. The government had to pay for soldiers, weapons, and supplies. To fund this enormous effort, Italy had to print more and more money. This led to a serious problem: inflation. As more paper lira were printed, the value of each lira went down. Prices for everyday goods like bread and fuel went up dramatically. The precious metals, silver and gold, disappeared from circulation. People hoarded them because they were more valuable than the paper money. The lira, once a stable currency, was becoming weaker. After the war, Italy's economic problems did not go away. In fact, they got worse. The country was in debt, and many soldiers returning home could not find jobs. This period of social unrest and economic hardship was known as the Biennio Rosso, or the 2 red years. During this time, the value of the lira continued to fall. Simple items that cost a few lira before the war now cost many times more. This economic instability created a sense of fear and uncertainty among the population. The government seemed unable to control the situation, and the weak lira was a daily reminder of the nation's struggles. The government tried to make changes to the coinage to reflect this new reality. Because precious metals were too valuable to use, New coins were made from cheaper materials. Nickel and other base metals replaced silver. The coins became smaller and lighter, a physical representation of the lira's diminished purchasing power. For example, the 2 lira coin, which had been a beautiful piece of silver, was now a small nickel coin. This was a difficult change for many Italians to accept. The money in their pockets felt less valuable, less real, and this contributed to the widespread feeling that the country was in a state of decline. This period of crisis had a profound impact on the psychology of the Italian people. The declining lira was not just an economic issue. It was a blow to national pride. The strong, reliable currency of the Risorgimento had become a symbol of instability and weakness. This economic chaos was one of the key factors that paved the way for a new and radical political movement. Many people longed for a strong leader who could restore order, stabilize the economy, and make Italy a respected nation once again. The Lira's struggles were a mirror of Italy's own, setting the stage for the rise of Benito Mussolini and the Fascist Party. When Benito Mussolini and his Fascist Party came to power in 1922, they really understood the power of symbols. They wanted to transform Italy into a strong, disciplined, and modern nation, inspired by the glory of ancient Rome. The lira, well, it became a key tool for spreading this message. The fascist regime took control of the coin designs and turned them into, miniature pieces of propaganda. The goal was to erase the image of a weak liberal Italy and replace it with one of strength, authority, and imperial ambition. Every coin that passed through an Italian's hand was meant to carry a lesson in fascist ideology. The new coin designs abandoned the soft, classical styles of the past. Instead, they used bold, modern, and aggressive imagery. The king's portrait remained, as Italy was still technically a monarchy, but he now had to share the space with powerful fascist symbols. The most important of these was a bundle of rods with an axe, which was an ancient Roman symbol of power and authority. This symbol was placed prominently on nearly every coin. Other designs included eagles, another Roman symbol of imperial power, and muscular figures representing a strong and virile new Italian people. A famous example of this new style was the Imperium series of coins, issued in the 1930s. These coins celebrated Italy's colonial expansion, particularly the conquest of Ethiopia. The designs were very direct. One side showed the king's head, but on the other side were symbols of Roman and fascist power. For instance, the 2 lira coin featured a majestic eagle perched atop a fascio. The message was clear. Italy was no longer just a kingdom, but a new Roman Empire. The lira was no longer just money. It was a proclamation of Italy's supposed destiny to dominate the Mediterranean, just as Rome had done centuries before. Mussolini also fought a famous economic battle called the Battle for the Lira. In the mid-1920s, he was determined to artificially raise the value of the currency to project an image of economic strength. He fixed the exchange rate at quota 90 lira to the British pound, a level that was economically damaging but politically important. For him, a strong lira meant a strong Italy. While this policy caused many economic problems, it was part of the fascist strategy to use the currency as a symbol of national prestige. The lira, in its design and its manipulated value, became a constant expression of the regime's power and its grand imperial dreams. World War II brought complete devastation to Italy and its currency. The war effort, combined with the Allied invasion and the subsequent civil war between fascists and partisans, really shattered the Italian economy. As the country was torn apart, the lira just collapsed. Hyperinflation took hold, rendering the currency almost worthless. Prices skyrocketed daily, and paper banknotes were printed in huge denominations, reaching thousands and even tens of thousands of lira. The metal coins, which had been made of nickel and steel, disappeared entirely. They were either melted down for the war effort or simply became worthless, since their metal value exceeded their face value. After the war ended in 1945, Italy was a country in ruins. Its cities were bombed, its industry was destroyed, and its people were impoverished. In this chaotic environment, the lira had lost all credibility. In many parts of Italy, especially in the south, people resorted to barter or used allied military currency and even cigarettes as a form of money. The official lira was so devalued that it was often referred to as carta straccia, or waste paper. The first major step for the new post-war Italian Republic, born in 1946, after a referendum abolished the monarchy, was to rebuild the shattered economy and restore faith in the national currency. The first coins issued by the new republic were a sign of this difficult transition. They were made from a cheap aluminum alloy called Italma. They were incredibly light and felt almost like toys. The denominations were small, 1, 2, 5, and 10 lira, but even these were worth very little. The designs were simple, featuring symbols of rebirth and hope. For example, one design showed an olive branch, a universal symbol of peace. Another featured a grape cluster, representing Italy's agricultural bounty and the hope for a return to prosperity. These humble aluminum coins were a stark contrast to the heavy silver and bold fascist coins of the past. This was a period of survival. The lira's value was so low that the smallest coins, the 1 and 2 lira pieces, quickly became useless for transactions and soon fell out of circulation. People joked that you needed a shopping bag full of banknotes just to buy a loaf of bread. The zeros on the banknotes kept multiplying. This experience of hyperinflation left a deep scar on the Italian psyche. For a whole generation, the lira was associated with poverty, instability, and the trauma of war. Rebuilding the lira's value and reputation would be one of the greatest challenges for the new Italian Republic as it began its slow and painful journey toward recovery. Starting in the late 1950s, Italy experienced a period of incredible economic growth known as il boom economico, the economic miracle. The country transformed rapidly from a poor agricultural nation into a major industrial power. Factories in the north, like Fiat and Olivetti, were producing cars, typewriters, and washing machines for the world. As the economy boomed, so did a new sense of optimism and confidence. This new spirit was reflected in the Italian lira. The currency stabilized, and for the first time since the war, the lira became a symbol of prosperity and modern Italian design. The coins of this era are among the most beloved and remembered by Italians. In 1951, a new 50 lira coin was introduced. It was made of a stainless steel alloy called acmonital and was larger and heavier than the post-war aluminum coins. It featured a striking design of the god Vulcan, naked and muscular, forging a shovel at his anvil. This powerful image symbolized the hard work and industry that were rebuilding Italy. On the other side was a beautiful female head representing Italy, adorned with a wreath of oak leaves. This coin felt solid and modern, a perfect representation of a country on the move. Perhaps the most famous lira coin of all time was the 500 lira silver coin, first minted in 1957. Known as the Caravelle, this beautiful coin celebrated Italy's history of exploration and its connection to the wider world. One side featured a Renaissance-style portrait of a woman surrounded by the coats of arms of Italian cities. The other side showed the 3 ships of Christopher Columbus, the Niña, Pinta, and Santa Maria, sailing on the ocean. This coin was a work of art and a source of great national pride. It was the first circulating silver coin issued by the Republic and a clear sign that Italy had left the poverty of the post-war years behind. Other popular coins from this period include the 100 lira coin featuring Minerva, the Roman goddess of wisdom and craftsmanship, and the 20 lira coin with its oak branch. These coins were in circulation for decades and became a part of daily life for generations of Italians. They were used to buy a newspaper, make a phone call from a public telephone, or get a gelato. The 50 and 100 lira coins, in particular, were the workhorses of the Italian economy. Their designs, blending classical themes with modern aesthetics, captured the essence of the economic miracle, a country proud of its past and confident in its future. By the 1990s, The idea of a single European currency was gaining momentum. The goal was to create a more integrated and powerful European economy. Italy, as one of the founding members of the European Community, was a strong supporter of this project. For the Italian lira, which had suffered from periods of inflation and devaluation throughout the late 20th century, joining a strong and stable new currency was seen as a very positive step. The decision was made to retire the historic lira and adopt the new currency, the euro. This marked the beginning of the end for a currency that had been with Italians for over 140 years. The transition was carefully planned. First, a fixed and permanent exchange rate was set. On December 31st, 1998, the value of the lira was irrevocably locked at 1,936.27 lira to 1 euro. This number became famous throughout Italy. People quickly learned to use it to mentally convert prices from lira to euros and back again. For 3 years, the euro existed only as a virtual currency, used for electronic transfers and financial markets. Prices in shops were displayed in both lira and euros, helping people to get used to the new values. This dual pricing period was a crucial step in preparing the public for the big change. The final historic step took place on January 1st, 2002. On this day, euro coins and banknotes were introduced into circulation across Italy and 11 other European countries. It was a massive logistical operation. Banks and post offices worked tirelessly to distribute the new money, and people lined up at ATMs to withdraw their very first euros. For a short period of 2 months, the lira and the euro were both used side by side. You could pay for your morning coffee in lira and receive your change in euros. It was a strange and exciting time, a moment of visible, tangible European integration. On March 1st, 2002, the Italian lira ceased to be legal tender. Its long journey was officially over. Italians had a 10-year window, until 2012, to exchange their remaining lira coins and banknotes for euros at the Bank of Italy. Many people kept a few coins or a banknote as a souvenir, a memento of the money they had grown up with. The farewell to the lira was a bittersweet moment. It was the end of a symbol of Italian national identity, but it was also the beginning of a new chapter in a more united Europe. The lira passed into history, leaving behind a legacy of art, culture, and memory. Today, more than 2 decades after it was replaced by the euro, the Italian lira is still remembered with great fondness. For millions of Italians, it is not just an old currency. It is a powerful symbol of their personal and national history. The lira was the money of their childhood. The coin used to buy their first candy or comic book. It was the banknote their grandparents gave them on their birthday. Each coin and banknote is a small time capsule, evoking memories of different eras. The post-war reconstruction, the vibrant economic boom, and the cultural changes of the late 20th century. The lira is woven into the very fabric of Italian family life. The lira is also remembered as a gallery of Italian art and history. The coins were not just functional objects. They were miniature sculptures that celebrated the nation's immense cultural heritage. From the Roman-inspired designs of the fascist era to the Renaissance beauty of the silver caravelle, the lira paid tribute to Italy's artistic genius. The banknotes were even more elaborate, featuring portraits of great Italians like Leonardo da Vinci, Giuseppe Verdi, and Maria Montessori. They were a daily reminder of the country's contributions to science, art, and education. For this reason, many people collect old lira, appreciating them as works of art. For collectors, some lira coins are rare and valuable treasures. For instance, the very first lira coin from the Republic, minted in 1947 with the Arancia, or orange branch design, is extremely rare because only a small number were produced. Similarly, certain trial versions of coins, like the 100 lira Minerva from 1954, can be worth thousands of euros. Finding one of these rare coins is like discovering a hidden piece of history. This hunt for rare lira keeps the memory of the currency alive as collectors study its history, its minting errors, and its special editions, preserving its story for future generations. In the end, the lira represents the story of modern Italy itself. It was born with the nation's unification and witnessed all of its triumphs and struggles. It survived 2 world wars, hyperinflation, political crises, and periods of great prosperity. It changed its face and its value, mirroring the changes in Italian society. While the euro is now the practical currency of daily life, the lira remains the currency of memory. It is a symbol of Italian identity, a testament to the resilience of its people, and a beautiful artistic legacy that continues to fascinate and inspire. The lira may no longer be in our pockets, but it will forever hold a place in the Italian